percent. It's really 2.6 percentage points. 6.7 versus Cook and Butler versus 4.1 for C.S. McKee.
Yeah. And that is, in my view, there's a very significant difference in terms of performance between those two managers.
But again, both of those numbers put them in the top 5% of all large cap value managers, so they're both very strong numbers.
Do you have any information on the 1 or 2 year returns for both?
Yes, through September 30th. If you want to turn to page 3, this is our large cap value equity universe. You can see for the 1 year number, Cook and Bieler was 26.8, 28.2 versus C.S. McKee, outperformance by McKee on the 1 year.
Okay.
For the 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, and 5 year, we have Cook and Bieler outperforming. For the 7 and 10, the very long term, that gets back into the time for the C.S. McKee portfolio where it wasn't really being run, it was really pro forma numbers that they had pulled out of the core composite. Those numbers we tend to give less credence to over the long term, but we're really concentrating on is 5 years and in. Especially for C.S. McKee, that's the amount of time that they actually ran this portfolio live.
The numbers that they're using, the McKee has supplied, is for a product they refer to as their value product.
Their large cap value product.
Large cap value product, because one of the things that came out in the course of the interviews and the information that was submitted was that they've indicated to us that the product we had with them was not their large cap value product. Despite continual representation, I think those of us that are sitting around this table over the years believed it to be. I heard nothing other than the word value being used regularly. I'm saying that for the record. They're using a product to compare their performance against, which was not the product that we had.
Right, this is a different product.
Who had that product during this 5-year time frame in the early portions of this so-called product that they're using for their statistical?
The current one?
Yeah.
For the 4
Back
years.
5 years ago. Let's just go back to the...
Okay, 5 years ago, this product actually did not exist. The numbers that they had used for the historic numbers were from the core product, which the Butler County Retirement Fund was invested in. They had went back and pulled out the value stocks from that product to create the composite going back. That happened about 4.5 years ago. That's why, in our mind, the 7 and 10 year numbers, those are kind of iffy. We don't know exactly if they had managed that live, if those numbers would have been the same.
And how do they determine those holdings, which were really value stocks?
That's the magic question.
Yeah.
We allow any other
whose
managers to
opinion
go
is
back
it?
and selectively pull stocks out?
We did not. However, when we looked at the 5 year number, the majority of that was a live number. So we went with that, and that's why we only go, in our minds, we're only looking at 5 years in rather than 5 years and back. So we know those numbers pretty much across the board are actual live numbers that they have clients with, and the Annie has current clients in that portfolio as well at C.S. McKee, the current large cap value portfolio.
Would it be unreasonable, Sean, to split a fund of this size?
Not unreasonable. One thing that you could run across will be two major issues. One could be possibly fees. You do get fee breaks the more money that you put with a single manager. For example, the first 10 million might be at 70 basis points. The next 10 million could be at 60. By splitting it, we could lose some, might pay a little bit more of a fee down the road. The second, and we've seen this before with different managers, C.S. McKee included, when there is a split mandate and one manager outperforms the other for a quarter, we start getting the phone calls, well, how come they have more money than we do? We outperform them for the quarter when we're really in this for the long haul. There's going to be that constant friction of, why does this manager have more? Why is this one underweighted? That's something that we handle on our end, which we can handle pretty easily by just, I don't want to say ignore it, but by letting them know we're in this for the long term.
Oh, I'm going to say 2000.
It was probably
1999, probably.
July 99.
Okay.
And at that time, who did we invest our money with?
We ended up going with State Street Global Advisors
That was-
and Invesco.
That was
and
in-
that was January.
That was
2000.
December of 2000.
Right.
And how much money was in our fund when we turned it over to Invesco? How much?
60 million, 65 million? Does that sound about right? I mean, I'm throwing out numbers here, but I should probably do. There were considerable losses between that period of
I
time.
think it was 64 million. And then when we took another look at this and decided to get rid of Lake Basin, How much was in it? What was the loss?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure where we're going with this, but during that same period, our losses were less than the average losses in the average pension fund in Pennsylvania. So there isn't anybody that escaped losses during that stretch of time.
So
I don't think there was a pension fund that made money during those years.
So they went to 50 million. Now we turn around and we hire you. And C.S. McKee has done very well for the county in the past. I agree, you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket. But I think we're looking back and listening to the other people tell us who we should go with, who we shouldn't go with. Theirs was nothing more than a guess that got us in trouble. And knowing that I can make a phone call to Pittsburgh and have them up here in an hour means a lot to me. And we started into trouble. Now, again, we had somebody from Philadelphia in the past that I got lucky one time. I ran into the guy in they had some kind of a big flea market down in Baltimore. Remember I ran
Oh, you're
into
talking
Hal?
about, you mean Hal Chapel?
Yeah.
He was out of
I
Baltimore,
got
he's
lucky.
from Lake Mason.
Got to talk to him. I did run into him. I mean, very seldom you get to run into these people to talk to them. I got lucky that day.
Well, Lake Mason had a lot of turnover. Remember, it started with that Petromaldi, and then she left, and then Hal.
So when you get into a guessing game, who's the best, and you start talking about 0.6%, and you've already listened to the experts in the past and lost 14 million and nobody to call, I feel more comfortable going with a local company that we can make a phone call to, and we know their past was good.
Well, for the record, the 1999 return for C.S. McKee, when they were our large cap manager, was 11.4%. Their benchmark was 21%. That's 10% difference.
Going back to the fees, both of them quoted 65 basis points.
Correct.
Is that subject to change if we split, if that was looking at the entire
I was looking at it at 15 million.
15 million?
Right.
And if we, would it Cook and Beeler's, do you think still be at 65 if they get their minimum of 10?
Cook and Beeler would probably be closer to 70, as would C.S. McKee.
So, okay, so if we don't, we may be impacting the cost of managing it.
Yeah, just slightly.
Slightly.
Again, I sense that this was a discussion point for the board. I'm sorry, Diane.
No, I said, try to negotiate that down for us.
Oh, sure, yeah, when we talk to McKee, we'll tell them,
This is not part of the deal.
yeah, we don't want to base this on 5 million for the large cap
Right,
value. You've got 12 million of the money. Let's see what we can get
Right.
as far as bringing that fee down as well.
Yeah, I just want to, I don't want to, that's a good point, if you can do it,
Oh, sure.
terrific. But here's McKee's own report.
Just make a motion.
I mean, we can talk in generalities here, but here's McKee's report for the 12-month period ending December 31st, 1999. Their equity return was 11.42%. The benchmark, the Standard & Poor's, was 21.04. That's 10% difference. That's their own report. Those are their numbers. Take 10% times 10 million, what number you get?
Let's call, I'm going to call, and discuss it. Is there any more input before we ask for a motion?
I'll make the motion to split it. Cook and Butler and C.S. McKee. 10 million and 5 million. Recommend.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
3. Yes.
Along with that, I want to make sure you negotiate that fee at 6.65.
Okay. See how much arm twisting I can do on this.
Well,
What, was that part of the motion then?
no, that was a statement too.
And then based on this, then Sean, you'll prepare another letter with instructions to PNC Bank,
Correct.
and everybody will be...
Right, and I can have, I'll have McKee overnight a contract up to you to look over. And do you have the status of the other contracts?
Actually, I'm still reviewing them, and we will place them on the next public meeting agenda, which is January 14th.
Okay,
We'll make them retroactive back to today's date.
okay, would like to get the managers investing the money as soon